It's now 6 months into the conversion of the T3 Bankstown line to the third stage of the Sydney Metro M1 line. And I don't think anyone could honestly say they didn't see this coming.
The opening of the Sydenham to Bankstown Metro extension delayed.
The state government's blaming industrial action for the delay and
it'll leave tens of thousands catching buses. There is no firm date on just when the converted metro will be operational.
This channel has been closely following developments along the line, and I was planning to call this video half-time in the conversion. That's when we expected it to be 12 months in total. Now it looks like it's not forecast to be completed in 2025, but now sometime in 2026. And with no date given, I'm optimistically calling this video now 1/3 of the way through. I took a trip out in late March to see what was happening. I'm Marty, and welcome to Backtracks. So what has happened? Well, in some respects, doesn't seem like much at all, particularly on station platforms themselves. Not much seems to have progressed, except I can just see leaves and dust collecting across a lot of the platform services. However, the main development, and this is a bit of a theme across a number of stations, is more work is now happening over stations with bridges and a lot of heavy construction going on at a number of the stations. And at Dulwich Hill, to my eyes, the least of any changes of the stations I visited this time. Except perhaps the orange plastic bollards with ropes with flags installed. I can assume that is to keep workers separate from the platform screen doors opening and closing once train testing starts. I guess that's a good sign that things are progressing. And we had one station west of Hurlstone Park. And like at Dulwich Hill, no real change on the platform except the addition of bollards and flagged rope. And here's another view from the overhead station entrance building. While not much at station level, there was a lot happening on the overhead road bridge, with heavy concrete pumping trucks in operation, closing off lanes, necessitating single lane operation. Canterbury Station was the first to have all its platform screen doors completed, and that was back in November 2024, 4 months back now. Just bollards and flags at one end. But the main development more happened at the eastern end, where there's been a lot of clearing of trees and bushes, which really opens up the space and certainly makes it easy to film what is going on at this station. And I know we've got a lot of fans of Campsie who watch this channel. So the good news for you is this time I did visit the station. I often don't, because it's very hard to get a vantage of the platform. Even harder when I'm there and a freight train goes past. But lucky for you, I can speed it up. Suffice to say, not much development since last time. Although while there, I did see something quite interesting. A series of solar-powered lights at the western end of the platform. Instead of finding out what these lights were actually for, I actually discovered that right at this point, there is provision made for a second station entrance. So it could be a secondary access to the station one day, although it's not included in this stage of development. Next stop west is Belmore, and as noted last time, my favourite vantage point had been fenced off to facilitate the overbridge work. And work was certainly in action the day I visited. It was hard to get up close as there's no footpath on that side, but there were a number of workers actively working on the overbridge. Lakemba, similar story. Now, one thing the government mentioned in their last press release was that a total of 28 kilometres of high-tech railway fencing has been installed along the alignment, which is made up of nearly 6 kilometres of segregated fencing to separate the existing freight line and the metro corridor, and 22 kilometres of security fencing. The security fencing includes apparently a first-of-its-kind intrusion and object detection system, which uses fibre optic cables to monitor for possible intrusions. Someone should tell them they're missing a little bit of the fence here at Lakemba. On to Wiley Park, a good view of the platform screen doors. The government says all the screen doors and mechanical gap fillers along the line from Marrickville to Bankstown have been installed. It took teams approximately 500 hours to fit out each station platform. And poor old Alderman Stanley E. Parry still is missing in action. Like Campsie, a lot of love for Punch Bowl, especially when I miss putting it in the video. Nothing against him, again, just very hard to film the platforms. not much going on in any case. And of course, the highlight of the trip is Bankstown, and very keen to see what has happened every time I visit. And we know building crews feel the same, as they started demolishing the platforms the very day after the station was closed. And now, 6 months later, in March 2025, significant work has been done. Scaffolding has been placed around both entrance buildings. In fact, on the metro part, some of it's come down, revealing the passenger entrance. Pretty impressive building. And you can really see here how a mini streetscape is being created, linking the north and the south of the station. I dare say this is going to be the new heart of Bankstown when it opens. And while we enjoy some different views of the development here at Bankstown, why has the project been delayed? Well, according to the government, the complexity of the project was compounded by more than 130 days of work that were impacted by industrial action and the subsequent effects, placing increasing pressure on the construction and testing programs. Now, this industrial action limited access to work sites and restricted the provision of work permits which were needed for contractors to work, and we'll just have to take the government's word for that. But the main point is the project is delayed. And before we wrap the video, one final look at the station, this time from the car park at Bankstown Central Shopping Centre. And well, not much seems to have progressed. So what's coming up next? Work will now focus on the final electricals to ensure that train testing can start. So fingers crossed, next time I make a video, I'm able to share information and perhaps some film of the first train tests in operation. Well, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already and you'd like to, please like and subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you next time when Backtracks takes another look at the new South West Metro line. See you later.